Good evening, folks. Welcome to another edition of Curveball Convos with your boys at Carolina Curveball. It's myself, Kason Romali, Colby Gallimore. Reed Tobin's running late, but it's a special day for someone on the Curveball staff. It is Braxton's birthday today, so happy birthday, sir. Hope you had a fantastic day. And did you watch some Rockies baseball today?
Thank you. No, I did not. Just found a nice little cool hat back in the back of the stash. Decided to throw it on. I believe it's '07 or some World Series champ, something like that.
Very nice.
What year did they win it? Let's see. Yeah. '07 NL champs is what it says. Yeah, not a Colorado guy, but hey, trying it out today. But thank you. Had a good day. Had a good birthday. Appreciate that, kids.
Yeah, man. No problem. You are 18 years young. So looking forward to the rest of our life. We are missing Reed Tobin. Don't know where he is. I think he's going to join the show. We're going to recap a great midweek. He was in attendance for a interesting game, Elon at Winthrop. Very interesting game. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in that game. I was flipping it back and forth last night through the games, and every time I flip back to Elon Campbell game, I would see the umps gathering, talking with both head coaches. I don't know what was going on. Very, very interesting. Oh, there's Reed. Oh, there is Reed Tobin. Reed Tobin, how's it going, sir?
Good. Sorry, I thought you were going to send a text when the link was ready.
He did. No
Check
worries.
email, Tobin.
No worries.
Welcome in,
Tobin.
welcome in.
It was good to see you, sir.
Oh,
We were just discussing the game you were at and all of the madness that went into it, because every time I would flip to it from other games, I would see the umps talking to McGuire or whoever it was.
it was a painful last 3 innings. Braxton texted at like 8:05. What time will he be home? It was like the top of the 7th inning. I was like, yeah, probably a little after 10. I didn't get home till 11:30.
Oh my goodness!
It was
Tobin.
3 hours 47 minutes.
Goodness.
Like
gracious.
Winthrop scored 5 in the bottom of the 7th, and there was a 20-minute delay, and as the ump magically just disappeared, and then McGuire and the Elon coach were just screaming at the umps, and then Elon proceeded.
Did the ump have to take a
Elon's
bathroom break or something?
No, he never came back. It was just 2 umps the last 2 innings, and then Elon scored 7 in the top of the 8th, or 7 in the top of the 8th to win the game.
Wow.
Unbelievable game. Game.
3 hours 47 minutes.
Well, Tobin, I'm glad you're home safe. Saw you stopped at Cane's. I'm at home. Hope it was absolutely delicious. But folks, you are not here for that. You're here for the midweek recap. We're gonna kick this off. Braxton, you gonna pull it up, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
For those watching, Braxton's gonna pull it up. I will read off the scores. The first one, Queens at Wofford. Wofford scores 15 runs after 3 innings. This Wofford team, fellas, whoever wants to go can go. I mean, this team just can hit the ball.
Dude, they're on a tear. I checked my phone last night. Like, I think that was the first game that started at like 5:30. So like it was a late start. We didn't have any 2 or 3 o'clock or 3 or 4 o'clock starts. And I just like the next tweet I saw after the start of the game was like 15-0 after 3. I was like, okay. And then I just scrolled down, just saw a bunch of clips of just Wofford extra base hits. I was like, these guys just don't stop. So yeah, tough game for Queens. I mean, it was over before it started. And Wofford just continues to stay hot. They got Mercer. They're going to Mercer this weekend, which I think maybe we'll put that on the pick'em. But I mean, I look for them to stay hot. Like they are running the SoCon right now, and I mean, they're not only hitting, like they're hitting for power right now. Like they have guys hitting home runs all over the ballpark, and I look for it to continue because they're the hottest team in the Carolinas right now. They're up to 30 wins now after last night.
Without a doubt, they're playing some really good baseball right now. Radford defeats Davidson 18-2. Disappointed here. Radford normally on our slates and schedules because they are in the Big South. Davidson, who's been playing some good baseball, drops one by 16 points. So unfortunate there. But Colby, a big one in the Battle of the Beaches, Wilmington walks off Coastal. I mean, I saw the ending play. Just kind of talk about that one.
Yeah, Coastal only had one hit the entire game, and were going up one. They're up 1-0 entering the bottom of the ninth, and then UNCW finally had a breakout inning. Pushed across 2 runs to win the game. I'm only here tonight to victory lap because on Monday I said I think there's going to be 2 upsets for the midweek. I said UNCW is going to beat Coastal and Elon was going to beat Winthrop. So yeah, I'm here to victory lap tonight.
Great job.
Great job, sir. Great job, sir. Reed Tobin, what does this mean for a Wilmington team that has been reeling as of late, lost 10 of their last 13? And, I mean, this is a momentum season-shifting win. I mean, with conference play, you're in the absolute dog days of it. You got some tough series coming up. You're in with Campbell. Just kind of what does this mean going forward for the Seahawks?
Yeah, I mean, this should be a huge confidence booster, maybe to try to revive their season and flip the script and get back to how they were playing just 3-4 weeks ago. The UNCW pitching staff, to hold Coastal to 1 hit total the whole game. It was a packed crowd too yesterday at Brooksfield. So really good win for them. I think they have a winnable series too this weekend, so we'll see if they can keep the trend. Yeah, Elon. I mean, Elon's kind of been hot here the past few days, but definitely a winnable series, and we'll see if Wilmington can keep it going into this weekend.
And on the flip side of that, Colby, just what does this kind of mean for Coastal? I mean, one hit here. I mean, I watched them play Wake Forest a few weeks ago, and they dominated a Wake Forest team in Durham. And then they have 1 hit the entire game. Just kind of what does this mean for Coastal going forward?
Yeah, I think that was the most shocking part. Not that they lost, but 1 hit the entire game. It's shocking from a lineup as good as theirs. But I think it's easy just flush, move on to conference play where they've been dominant in the Sun Belt. So they got a winnable series at home against Texas State, I believe. Just bounce back this weekend and forget it ever happened.
Fluky's back too.
Yeah.
And Trace Mason.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, not a big deal. They lost this game, in my opinion.
No, I mean Mason will help that lineup out tremendously too. I mean he was arguably their best hitter before he got hurt. So,
Braxton, the Heels took care of business versus High Point. Just touch on that one. Another nice win for the Heels.
Yeah, they definitely didn't take High Point lightly. I believe Glauber started this game. Is that correct, Reed? I know he was in
Rose.
Oh, was it Rose? Okay. Well, Glauber got in early because I saw him get out of a jam. Which I mean, Rose and Glauber. I mean, like I said, they did not take High Point lightly. They threw out some good arms, freshman arms out there. 2 of their better arms of the season, and I think he struck out on High Point, which that at bat really could have changed the game. Once that happened, Carolina just kind of ran away with it. Offensively,
with the bases loaded there too.
Yeah, it was a big strikeout, and Cooper Nicholson went deep again for the Heels. Carter French had one of the best plays I've seen all season. Hopefully he's all right. He went headfirst into the bullpen wall, but it looked like he was able to be all right. But it was an unbelievable catch. It's on our page if you didn't see it. But yeah, like you said, they just took care of business. They got Duke starting tomorrow at Duke, so big rivalry type series that they're going to want to win, obviously. So hopefully they can carry that into their performance from the past weekend and then last night into the weekend. So yeah, good night for the Heels last night.
Someone that it was not a good night for, Colby. The Duke Blue Devils choke a lead versus Liberty. I was watching a little bit of this one. Last time I saw, I think they were up 2 or 4 runs. I don't know the exact score, but I know Duke was up kind of in the middle. And just Colby, what kind of happened there? This Liberty team is flaming hot, literally.
Yeah, I think it was the bottom of the 8th or the bottom of the 7th. Duke had a 3-run lead, and Liberty had a 6-run inning. I think it was the bottom of the 8th, and it started off the inning. I think it was a solo home run, and I texted in our group chat, this feels like a game that Duke is going to choke.
Colby called everything last night.
It hasn't been off this year.
Magic 8 ball.
Last night I was on a heater. But, yeah, Liberty hit a couple bombs in the 8th, and then Duke kind of shot themselves in the foot, and that was a game I think Duke really needed going up to Liberty and getting that win. They've been struggling as a league when they got swept by Boston College last weekend, so they really needed a win, and Liberty was a good team, and it seemed like a good opportunity up 3 or 4 runs late in the game, and they just couldn't get it done.
Reed, outside of the Carolinas, what does this mean for Liberty, who's fighting for a host?
Yeah, I mean, before tonight, that was 4 straight midweek ACC wins for them. They fell short tonight in Charlottesville, but I mean, I watched that whole game. Another great effort from Liberty. I mean, they're going to be a dangerous team. I mean, they keep winning games in the Conference USA. Me and Braxton have touched on it. If they win that conference, there is going to be a good chance that they host.
Yeah.
Good for Liberty. That's crazy. Them hosting a regional. That is very cool. Wake Forest takes care of business versus UNCG. UNCG having a tough season. Wake Forest just beats them 14-3. Not much to discuss there. Campbell goes to Charlotte, defeats your alma mater, Colby. Nice bounce back here from Campbell after a tough weekend, and Charlotte just kind of continues their roller coaster of the season.
Yeah, they tied it in the ninth on DiMartino RBI single or double, I can't remember, but tied in the ninth, and then they were threatening first and third with 2 outs and could have got it done, walked it off, but didn't get it done, and then lost in extras. So just a painful last 3-4 weeks for Charlotte, and like you said, on the Campbell side, really good bounce back after dropping 2 out of 3 at home to Elon last weekend.
I think it was Oster with the go-ahead homer in extras.
It was, yeah, in the extras.
Oster.
East Carolina takes care of business at Old Dominion, a place they have struggled with in the past. They really have taken care of Old Dominion this year, beating them by a good amount of runs each game. Not much to discuss there. ECU killing ODU. The quality wasn't very good. Some of the quality of these baseball games is frustrating sometimes because, I mean, the ECU game was shaky, and then the Elon Winthrop game, the camera was shaking the entire time. It just makes it hard to watch. That was my biggest takeaway from some of these games tonight. The quality is just hard to follow, hard to watch. But hey, I'm very grateful that it is on TV and not on Flow Sports. So hey, I will take it. Speaking of being on Flow Sports, Charleston Southern drops one at College of Charleston. Reed, the Cougars playing well, sir.
Yeah, I believe that puts them back to 500 now, if I'm not wrong. I mean, we've touched on it here the past few shows. I mean, they've definitely turned up their play, playing their best brand of baseball here over the past 2 weeks. I believe that's 9 out of their last 10 games. They've won 2, and they've got a big one too this weekend. Look for them to potentially upset Campbell. I'm not calling it, but I could see it happening.
That would be something for sure. And Reed Tobin, I will pass it right back to you, sir. Give us the breakdown of the matchup you were at last night.
Yeah, my first time down at Founders Field was really impressed. I mean, the technician went down there. Winthrop jumped on Elon there early in the game, and then Elon battled back to make it 3-3, and the game was kind of flying along, moving quickly, and then all hell broke loose in the seventh inning. Winthrop scores 5 runs there in the bottom half, and then one of the umps went missing. No one knows where he is, I think, to this day still. And they finished the game with just 2 umps. Winthrop scored 5 in there in the bottom half to go up 8-3. I was thinking business as usual for Winthrop. And then, Elon, credit to them too. In the 8th inning, Winthrop, I think they hit 3 batters in that inning to start a rally too. And then, base hit after base hit, Elon was back into the game, and Jackson Alford, he had the go ahead double. And then, Mike Shanino, he was able to come in and shut the door. Really impressive win though for Elon, coming off the series win against Campbell on the road, and then to follow it up on the road too at a really good Winthrop team.
Yeah, I agree. Want to touch on that from Elon. Elon playing pretty well as of late. They are 3-2 in their last 5. Pretty good to them. Moved to 17-23 on the season. I like that for Elon as a Burlington Mebane resident. Proud of them. A&T defeats UNC. Asheville. A&T moves to 11-28 on the season. Asheville falls 16-25. Western Carolina continues to just absolutely score tons of runs on teams, and Gardner-Webb unfortunately does not have the pitching to keep up with some of these teams, even though sometimes they do have the hitting to keep up, but not with Western, because Western's pitching this year has been up for sure. And hey, my bold prediction with Presbyterian, it had legs for a little bit.
It had a
legs
pulse.
for a little bit.
It did.
It had a pulse. Rollison went deep. Well, like in the first or second inning. I think it was 2 or 3-0, right? And then
Yeah.
South Carolina did answer. I think Suter had a good night at the plate, if I'm not mistaken, for the Gamecocks. But yeah, definitely. I mean, just good for them to get back in the win column. They had a couple winnable games on the weekend after getting swept by Mississippi State. So there's probably a lot of frustration in that dugout, but definitely good to just get back in the win column like you're supposed to against Presbyterian.
I 100% agree. And Presbyterian is the lone team in the Carolinas yet to get double-digit wins. I expect that to come soon. Clemson defeats Upstate. Much-needed win here for Clemson, and also an opportunity for Upstate to kind of respond after a tough weekend. And they do not. Braxton, your alma mater, going through a pretty tough stretch right now. Is that 5 in a row?
4.
5 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, it's a struggle right now for the Spartans. I'm hoping they can turn it around because it's the time of year where they need to get hot. They've played a really tough schedule this year, and they just haven't been able to find consistently. Like, they've always been flirting with getting right up to around 500, then they drop a few games and they get some good wins. Then they drop a game that they shouldn't. They just haven't been able to find the consistency enough on the mound. Clemson's having a down year, so this was definitely a winnable game for them. I didn't watch much of this game, to be honest with you, but I was keeping up with it, and Clemson seemed like they controlled it for most of the game. But if you're Upstate, they have a week off of the Big South coming up this week, and I think they play at Samford, who's struggled a little bit in the SoCon, but they've kind of picked it up here lately. So possibly a winnable series for Upstate, but again, it's on the road. Like, they've really tested themselves on the road a lot this year. I think that was by design. But, at some point, you've got to start putting wins in the win column and turning this thing around a little bit. So I'm hoping that starts now, because you've got to win these last few Big South series just to solidify your spot in the tournament, for one, but also to get hot going into the tournament. So that, you can beat everyone in the tournament. You just got to – I'm really worried about their pitching depth, to be honest. That's the key this year. Last year, they set themselves up really nicely to win the tournament, and they knew that they were the best team out of the league. So they just went and took care of business. But this year, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for them to win the Big South tournament.
Correct. And as they finish the season, they definitely cannot win the conference regular season, but they can position themselves in a favorable position to end the year in the tournament, like you said, to use their pitching, what they have, to their advantage. But like you said, uphill battle for sure. Colby, thank you for adding the App State East ETSU game. We unfortunately missed that one. We do apologize. Hand up on that one.
Hand up here. That's on me.
Hey, it's on both of us, sir.
It's a big win, though, for him.
Yeah.
It's a good ETSU team, too, who's definitely a contender in the SoCon. I saw Cameron Miller. He went yard yesterday, and then, the app pitching used a collection. It was a bullpen day for them. But, giving up 5 hits to a good ETSU team. Nevertheless, that's really good result. App's really playing some good baseball right now.
I do agree to that for sure. Fellas, I think that'll do it for the midweek recap. That was a good conversation. We did not go as long as we normally do for the midweek recap. I kind of wanted to speed it up like that so we can really focus on the weekend preview, because I think that is what a lot of people come to see. We have a lot of really good series this weekend, a lot of movement that can happen across the conferences. The first one we will discuss, fellas, starts tomorrow on also the NFL draft. I will have 2 TVs on, one on the NFL draft and then one on this series. North Carolina at Duke. Are they playing any of these games in the DPAP? Do y'all know?
No, I think they're all at. The Bulls are on the road. I did look, but I think they're all at Jack Coombs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Reed, Tobin, what are you looking to see from the Duke Blue Devils first?
Just maybe any sign of life. I mean, It's been bad. Defensively.
To be fair to Tobin, this is like to get into the tournament. This is a huge week for Duke, and they've already dropped the game against Liberty. Like they needed to get some wins against Liberty and Carolina, and maybe they do this weekend. But this is a huge week, just to preface, for Duke.
Yeah, I mean, to your point though, Braxton. I mean, they had 4 errors on Tuesday or last night against Liberty too, and then not to mention, I mentioned it on Monday too. Giving up 14 stolen bases in a game too last week against BC. They're really they're reeling right now. And then with the way Carolina's been playing here over the past few weeks, arguably playing their best baseball this past weekend against Georgia Tech. I mean, they're facing a tall task. I really do expect Carolina to roll this weekend.
North Carolina sitting at 15-6 in the ACC. Duke at 8-13. Like y'all said, Duke definitely has some ground to make up. They sit 2 games above Clemson, who's at 6-12, which is a real shocker. Unfortunate for them. Braxton, your thoughts on this series, sir?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Carolina plays at Duke, because I think these 2 teams play again.
The following Sunday.
Yeah, like a random Sunday. I don't even think they have weekend series next week. They're just playing again on Sunday.
Yeah.
So kind of a weird dynamic here that you don't really see too often, especially in the ACC. But it starts on a Thursday, which is always interesting. I mean, you could get a team coming out very flat. I think are they throwing? I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I imagine they'll throw DeCaro tomorrow. But they may want to. I would assume it's be DeCaro tomorrow, but we'll see.
You would assume so.
Aiden Weaver, if he throws for Duke, that's a guy that could give the Heels some problems. He's a decent arm, so I'm just looking for Carolina to take care of business from their perspective. And then if you're Duke, it's now or never. If you get a series win at home here against the number 2 team in the country, you're right back into the thick of things. So you have you can look at it one of 2 ways. It's an opportunity for you to right the ship in your season, or it's it could be down and out for the Blue Devils.
Davidson at George Washington. Davidson sitting tied for second in the A-10 at 11-7, behind St. Joe's at 16-2. They face George Washington, who is 9-9. St. Joe's, I'm looking at St. Joe's schedule. They play LaSalle this weekend. LaSalle is 4-14 in the conference, so I see St. Joe's lead going to extend for the A-10. But Davidson there,
they won't win the tournament. I think it's going to be someone else.
I think it'll be VCU or George Mason.
Yeah, I like Davidson too. I mean, they've played some good ball. I'm interested to see how they do against George Washington, but I just don't think St. Joe's, for some reason, I think they're gonna lose in the tournament, and that's not a knock to St. Joe's. I just think some of these other teams, you just normally see them in the regional.
I 100% agree. Colby, some SoCon action this weekend, some major SoCon action. ETSU at Western Carolina, both sitting at 8-4 in the conference, both currently on multi-game win streaks. Big clash here in Cullowhee, Colby. What are you looking for there? And bold prediction, who you got?
Yeah, I think this is one of the best series of the weekend. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's 2 really good teams going at it. Western, this is a huge opportunity. You host they're 8-4, both 8-4 in the conference, hosting a team in conference play, and just a huge opportunity to defend your home field. I can see this series going either way. I like ETSU a lot as much as I like Western. I'll probably say I leaned East Tennessee State taking 2 out of 3, but I can see Western taking 2. I don't know. It's a toss-up for me.
It definitely is a tough one for sure. But I think with the improvements on the mound that they've had on the pitching this year for Western Carolina, I mean, but it's hard to root against. It's hard to not root, but bet against Walford. But if you saw on our stat leaders this past week, Mason Snyder for Western Carolina, 1.3 ERA, 41 and 2/3 innings pitched, absolute stud on the mound. There were some other guys from Western on our stat leaders too, but Reed, this Western team, are they poised to make a run?
It certainly seems that way. We mentioned it on Monday. They've got these next final 4 weeks are going to be really telling. Braxton, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they play all the teams that are in the top 5 in the conference the next few weeks.
Correct.
So this is the start of it. This week we'll really see what they're made of. They've shown great resilience all season too. Some of those midweek wins that they had at Georgia, then blanking ECU and Greenville. So we'll see if it can carry on, and into the SoCon tournament too as well.
A team that you've been high on this season, Braxton, App State at 10-8 in the conference. It's currently tied for third. Plays last place Georgia Southern at 5-13. So they can definitely make up some ground here. If they can come out of here 13-8 in the conference, maybe can make up some ground. Let's just give me your thoughts on that as I look at who Southern Miss plays above them.
I mean, I'm really starting to believe in this App team. I kind of, just thinking about the way that they played Coastal earlier in the year, maybe they can make some noise in that tournament. Wouldn't it be something if we see them win the Sun Belt somehow and make it regional? I mean, that would be a hell of a story. This is kind of, I expect their students to show out because I know Georgia Southern is kind of a rival for them amongst that student body. So, and this is a fan base that's shown out pretty well from the clips that I've seen. I haven't been down to Boone or anything this year, but it looks like they're filling out the stadium pretty well, which is great to see. I mean, they've got a great support system over there, and it's showing on the field too. So, I'm kind of pulling for App a little bit to make a little run here at the Sun Belt. And I mean, what is their RPI at? Just curious. Is it in the hundreds? I'm assuming it is.
I'll check right now. Let's see.
There's no chance they'll get a at large. I wouldn't think. I mean,
no.
Which. It's just you're gonna have to win the tournament. But I'm just curious to see. They've had a good season, man. This is a team that's really picked it up here lately, and they're hot right now. So
I also think, Reed, before you say the RPI, I also think one thing about this team has dogs on it. I mean, they have Charlie Evans, who's batting 404. They have Steven Smith batting 400. And then you got Gage Pearson on the mound, second in the Carolina strikeouts was set with 75. He's an absolute dog. So I mean, they have dogs. They have fan base that shows up every weekend and shows out. They're playing good baseball, and also Southern Miss and South Alabama play each other this weekend, and those are the two teams above App State right now in the standings. So if App State can take care of business, they could jump. They will. Yeah, they will jump one team to move into second place in the Sun Belt.
Maybe they get the 2 seed. Maybe they end up getting the 2 seed, and then you maybe meet Coastal would be in the championship or however that would work. I mean, you just never know, man. So,
Reed, you have the RPI?
Yeah, they're up to 101 in RPI. So cracking on the door to get into the top 100. Just looking at their schedule though, you play last place Georgia Southern this week. A sweep would go a long way. And then, they've got tricky series, though, coming up at Troy and then Louisiana and then at Georgia State. So, they really need to take advantage of this week. This is a good opportunity for them.
Major opportunity for them, for sure. Campbell at College of Charleston is the next series I want to talk about. Colby Campbell sitting at 17-4 right now. College of Charleston at 10-8. Do you expect anything but a Campbell series win, bounce back from last week's Elon loss, or do you think that maybe Campbell's kind of stumbling right now and College of Charleston, who's playing hot, can take advantage?
Yeah, the way College of Charleston has been playing recently, I think this is another great series on our slate this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Campbell, now nice bounce back win we mentioned last night at Charlotte, a team that they lost to earlier in the year. Charlotte won there in the midweek probably a month or so ago. So got revenge there. I think that I think Campbell does take this series, but I think College Charleston takes one.
I could definitely see that happening for sure. Charleston Southern at UNC Asheville. Some Big South action here. Charleston Southern sitting at 7-8, sitting at fourth, one game out from third. Not totally out of it right now for Charleston Southern. If they can find the way to pick up some wins, Asheville sitting at the bottom at 4-8, 5-game losing streak. So some craziness always happens in the Big South. So would not shock me one bit. In the SoCon, UNCG at the Citadel. UNCG 2-10. The Citadel kind of having a downish year this year, Braxton. They're not always the most attractive team to watch, but they're always they're always mostly have good pitching. Have a very, very tough schedule and have not made the most of it.
Yeah. You're talking about the Citadel, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and Colby, they just won tonight, right?
Yep, they were the only game we had tonight, and they won 10-3 at Georgia Southern. So good one for Citadel.
Yeah, they've had an interesting season. Like you mentioned, the strength of schedule. It seems like they just haven't put together like a full weekend, kind of like Upstate. Like, they play well against the better teams, but then it seems like they play down to competition a little bit too, and they've always struggled a little bit on offense. But they pitch it as well as anybody. So maybe this is a get-right spot for them against UNCG, who's also had a rough season. And UNCG just got swept last week by Stanford. So I like this. Is this going to be in the pick'em? Have we made the pick'em yet? I don't think we have, but this could be a candidate just because it might be somewhat even, but I like the Citadel at home to take this one.
This is definitely a pick'em candidate for sure. Looking forward to that as well whenever that does get picked out. The next one, Clemson at Louisville. Some bottom of the barrel ACC action here. Just going to kind of say it. Just want to kind of say it like it is. Louisville at 7-11.
It's a big series. I think, sorry to interrupt, Kason, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that loser of this series, I think, barring a run in the ACC tournament, I mean, they can kiss their at-large chances. Clemson's sitting in a lot better position than Louisville right now in terms of RPI. But, Louisville, I mean, it would be a shame, with Tig Davis. I mean, the season he's had for Louisville not to be in the NCAA tournament. And then, Zion Rose coming back, he's swinging a great bat. Yeah, I mean, both teams need it badly. Louisville had a good win last night in the in-state rivalry against Kentucky. So it'll be interesting to see this week in Braxton.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me to pick. Just because both have had very disappointing seasons. I mean, we could be, before the season started, if we're looking at this week as a whole, just series wise, like this would have been at the top of our list, just in terms of like, Clemson and Louisville were both expected to have good seasons. Both Omaha candidates to start the year, and now we're sitting here in their bottom half, bottom third of the ACC, and it's just like this is going to get completely glossed over somewhat. I mean, both teams, like you said, are fighting for their season, so it's going to be competitive. So it's still going to be a fun watch, I think, if you do have no better games to watch. But I think I'm going to take Louisville just because, I mean, Clemson still has yet to prove it to me, like in terms of weekend play. Like they just haven't picked up a good series win that I've seen, other than maybe Stanford was like their only really good win in California. So
it's their only series win.
Yeah, so I mean, they just haven't proved it to me. So I'm going to take the home team in Louisville here. I think it's a toughish place to play. Like you mentioned with Tig Davis, the season he's having, is Zion Rose healthy?
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to put my money there, and I think maybe Clemson gets. If Kanak has another good outing, they might get that game. But I'm going to take Louisville to take 2 out of 3.
I'm just going to read Tig Davis's stats real quick. I mean, they're absolutely absurd. He's batting .399, 25 homers, and 76 RBIs already on the season.
25 homers?
Oh, my God.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Holy smokes.
If Louisville was a smidge better, I mean, he'd probably be up there to win the Golden Spikes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's still
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's still good.
Colby, you alluded to it earlier. Texas State at Coastal Carolina. I fully expect Coastal Carolina to bounce back here. Coastal at 15-3, Texas State 9-9. But the big story, Colby, is the return of Cameron Flukie. Curious how he looks. What are you expecting from that? I mean, there's definitely going to be a pitch count on him. Just kind of what are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, just solid, probably 3 or 4 innings. Don't need to go crazy for a start back. Definitely agree there will be a pitch count, but really looking forward to watching them. We've missed watching them. I know I have. I think this is a series that Coastal will sweep. My opinion, I just think they'll take care of business at home.
South Florida at Duke. Oh my gosh. South Florida at East Carolina. Excuse me. Is someone in here going to that series this weekend?
I will be there on Friday and Saturday. We'll see if I can spark some energy into the Pirates. They need it. So, I mean, it's now or never for them. I mean, they're right there on the bubble. So, I mean, they need to finish these next 4 weeks very strong.
That does sound like a very fun time, Tobin. I wish I was going there with you. I remember watching those series when we were in college. South Florida would always play around graduation week at ECU. Remember those? I feel like
poop game.
There was a diarrhea outbreak. Was that 2024?
I was at that one. Whenever y'all graduated, it was in that one.
Yes, 2024. That was a fun series. But yeah, looking forward to that. East Carolina sitting at 9-6 in the conference. South Florida at 7-8. Looking forward to that one. Could see some conference movement there. Elon at UNC Wilmington. Elon playing some good baseball as of late, and so is UNC Wilmington. Wilmington at 10-8. Elon at 8-13. Elon on the up and up. Braxton, we need Wilmington to continue to swing the hot bat, play this momentum. But hey, Elon is no slouch right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think my bold prediction is in this series, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I think I know where you're going, but we'll wait for tomorrow.
Winthrop at Gardner-Webb. Braxton,
Yeah.
do you expect anything less than a Winthrop series win, or can the Gardner-Webb bats get hot?
I think Gardner-Webb could certainly give them some trouble, especially with it being at Gardner-Webb. You know, Winthrop's kind of struggled a little bit on the road this year, a little bit. And, you know, Gardner-Webb can certainly, like you mentioned, can hit, especially at their home field. I've played at that field. It's a bit of a launch pad. I don't give Gardner-Webb no chance. I think Winthrop will take 2 out of 3 at the least, but it wouldn't shock me if Gardner-Webb were to upset them here. But I just think overall Winthrop's pitching is a lot better. I think they're going to be able to kind of work off of that, and if they hit the ball, they struggled to hit the ball this week against Upstate. I mean, there were some low scores there, so if it becomes a bit of a shootout, I think Gardner-Webb can play with them in terms of that type of game. But then again, Winthrop can put up runs too. I mean, Jalen Hernandez has been as hot as anyone. He's second in the Carolinas in home runs with 14. He hit 3 this weekend. So, and I guarantee you, he goes deep at Gardner-Webb's field. I mean, that's an easy.
I was waiting for it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he's been hot. That would have been the 4th straight game yesterday. But did he have any hits yesterday?
I think he had 1.
Okay.
If I believe he struck out in the 9th, I know that.
Yeah, I'm going to take Winthrop, I think, but don't count out Gardner-Webb in the series just quite easily.
Yeah, I was about to say you named some Winthrop guys. I mean, we had Kelvin Augusto for Gardner-Webb on our stat leaders. He is always hitting the ball, and Drew Rapepi for Gardner-Webb has always been hitting the ball very well. So looking forward to that series. As Colby said, tons of loaded series on the docket this weekend. William & Mary at A&T. Looking forward to that one as well. A&T sitting at 3-15. William & Mary coming in at 7-11. Hopefully, A&T can get a win over our Virginia foes. Colby, NC State at Virginia Tech. First of all, I want to say I hope that guy at Virginia Tech is okay after slamming into the Jumbotron. If you did not see that at Virginia Tech spring game, Braxton, what?
I didn't see it.
That was insane.
Spring
Braxton,
football.
you didn't see it, bro?
No.
At the spring game, you know what?
I haven't been keeping up with football spring games, to be honest.
Me neither, but I mean, it was
Yeah,
over
I know.
But so, like, you know how like some teams have like paratroopers come on and like drop the game. Well, the Panthers, the Panthers do it every game. They have them come on. The guy got caught in the wind and slammed into the Virginia Tech Jumbotron and like broke his arm. The letters were falling.
It was like he was hanging there for a while too.
It was bad.
Oh, I thought you meant like a player ran into the Jumbotron.
No.
It was awful.
It was bad.
Oh my!
But it sounds like he's going to be okay. So
good. But fireworks to start the James Franklin era. But
jeez.
back to baseball. Colby, NC State sitting at 9-9, Virginia Tech sitting at 9-12. They're right next to each other in the ACC standings. Virginia Tech 20-19 on the year. NC State 26-14. NC State is without Marone for how long?
3 weeks.
Handful of weeks, 3 or 4.
Colby, going into this series, what are you looking for NC State?
I'd label this as a can't lose series. State sitting at 500 in the ACC, 9-9. I think with their RPI not being good, barely in the top 50, their strength of schedule, non-conference strength of schedule sucked. For them to be getting that large, they need to stay at 500 or better in the ACC. And right now they're right at 500, 9-9. So it's a can't lose and a must win at the same time. They need to win this series to stay above 500 in the ACC. If they take one or even get swept, it's pretty dire times to make getting that large. I think if they only take one or even get swept this weekend.
Yeah. To your point, Colby, I think it's a can't lose for State. I think it's a must win on the other side for Virginia Tech because they're sitting right around 500 too. I think, at least overall record, I believe. Is that right?
Yes,
correct.
They're at 20-19.
Yes, I think this is a must win series for them. But I agree with Colby. This is a can't lose series for State. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I think this is also a borderline pick 'em.
Radford at Presbyterian. Radford playing some good baseball is the definition of average. They're 18-18, 7-8. Presbyterian 9-33, jeez, and 5-10 in the Big South. They win this series. Book it. Write it down right now. Write it down right now. Write it down right now. Write it down. Presbyterian gets to double-digit wins this weekend.
I'll put it in the pick 'em for you.
Thank you very much, sir. Wofford at Mercer. Read another phenomenal SoCon series. Mercer started the year really, really well. Look at this, Reed. I'm looking at their kind of season outlook right now. They're 4-5 in the conference, Mercer. They have played one. This is only their second home conference series. They're 2-1 at home in the conference, 2-4 on the road. They've lost 3 straight. They're 29-12 overall. Mercer's 22-2 at home, Reed. 7-10 at home. You got Wofford. You got Wofford coming in on a 9-game win streak. Does it in Georgia?
It's a really fascinating series. I'm not going to give my prediction away, but with the way Wofford's been hitting the ball on this winning streak, it's going to be tough for Mercer. Mercer was my pick to win the SoCon coming into the year, and it certainly looked like they were going to do it. And then after the trip, after getting swept out in Corvallis a few weeks ago, they've really struggled to open up SoCon play. You mentioned Kaysen; they're sitting at 4-5 right now. Wofford obviously in first place. So, I mean, this is going to be a really good series. I expect a lot of fireworks down in Mercer this weekend.
Braxton, do you have anything on this SoCon series?
Yeah, I mean, with the way Wofford's playing right now, I'm finding it tough to pick against them. You know, my SoCon pick was Western, so I kind of need Mercer to deal some damage here to win to Wofford. But again, like I said, I just can't pick against this Wofford team right now with the way they're hitting the ball. So I think I'm going to pick Wofford on the road here. And Mercer has shown that they've struggled a little bit in the league this year, so I think it continues maybe. But like Reed says, Mercer's a strong team, so don't be surprised if they pick up some wins this weekend as well.
Colby, your alma mater, Charlotte, travels to Boca Raton, Florida this weekend. Charlotte sitting at 4-11 in the American. FAU at 6-9, nice, at 19-20 overall. Colby, I think this is a good opportunity for Charlotte to get back in the win column here and to make the conference tournament, make some moves. I mean, this is a series that they absolutely have to win with their tough schedule coming up. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It certainly is a winnable series. With that being said, the way they've played the last 3-4 weeks, I don't see them going down there and taking 2 out of 3. Hopefully they prove me wrong, but it's been a struggle bus the last month for Charlotte. And like I said, hope they prove me wrong. I just don't see it happening.
I completely understand, sir. Reed, what are your kind of thoughts on that as an American graduate as well?
Yeah, I mean, they need it badly. Sitting in 10th place right now, dead last. You got to finish in that top 8. So, I mean, you got to start winning series. 4 weeks left. It's now or never for Charlotte, and this is a good opportunity this weekend against a struggling FAU team.
Another good opportunity, Queens at Jacksonville. Queens sitting at 8-10 in the Graphite division in the ASUN. It's my favorite thing to say. Queens at 8-10. How about that? They are 1 game back from second place in the ASUN. Huge, love it. They face Jacksonville, who's at 9-9, 22-18 overall. Braxton, can Queens make history once again?
I mean, I'm not counting them out. They've had some really good pitching performances this year from Ruler and who was it, Egan last week, maybe 2 weeks ago on the honor roll. So, I think it starts there on the mound. Maybe you can get a win out of Ruler. Jacksonville's a solid ball club, not like elite, but I think they're a solid ball club. So it's gonna be tough to go on the road down to Florida. They've gone down, to the state of Florida a few times this year. See, I mean, Stetson and North Florida in that conference as well. So, it's not a trip they're not accustomed to, but I would love to see Queens take another series. I mean, let's continue this trend where they're, looking very competitive in the conference. So, I'm going to pick Jacksonville, but I think that Queens at least gets a game, hopefully.
Reed, South Carolina hosts Kentucky. Looking at the SEC standings right now, Kentucky sitting at 8-10, 26-13 overall. South Carolina sitting at 5-13, fell to under 500 this past weekend, 20-22. Reed, I don't know too much about Kentucky, but should this be a series win for Kentucky, or can Monty Lee fire the boys up here?
The way Kentucky's played, the past few weeks, I think South Carolina has a chance this weekend. I think this is definitely a winnable series for them. For a Kentucky standpoint, though, they lose last night to Louisville, but they really lack a lot of marquee series wins. Obviously they had the series loss to Missouri. So, I mean, I'd say they're probably a 3 seed right now. So, they really can't afford to be slipping up here.
Kentucky lost the series to Missouri?
Yes, at home.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah. So, I mean, already losing the series to Missouri, Kentucky cannot afford to drop another one to the bottom 2 teams if they want to make the tournament.
Absolutely not. Speaking of a bounce back opportunity, Braxton, and also a tough opportunity, Upstate traveling to Sanford. Sanford playing some better baseball as of late. They are 20 and 19 overall, 8-4 in SoCon. Like you said, Braxton, Upstate currently on a 6-game losing streak. I said 5 earlier, but good opportunity here, Braxton. Like you said, just you kind of know what this team is made of. They just needed to click all at the right time.
Yep. Another opportunity on the road, to kind of, it's not a Big South series, so you've got to try to gain some confidence here going down there, but it's not going to be easy, right? Like going on the road in this sport and winning is so difficult. I'm hoping they can turn it around, but it starts this weekend. This is really a weekend where you need to find yourself and figure out what you're made of going into the final stretch of the season, because it's now or never. You haven't had the season you wanted to, but there's still plenty you can accomplish here, and like I said a few episodes ago, like you're the reigning champs of the Big South, so have that confidence. You've got a lot of guys from that team last year. You don't have everyone, but you've got a lot of guys that are still around that know the pedigree, know what it's like to win a championship. So you just got to go out and play well, and good things will happen. So I hope it starts this weekend down there in Georgia.
Another series I'm looking forward to: Wake Forest at Georgia Tech. Colby, Wake Forest. Wake Forest is kind of. I don't really know what to make of them. They've got some good wins. They've got some questionable losses. But Colby, Georgia Tech coming off the series loss versus North Carolina, they still sit atop of the ACC at 16-5. Still one of the best teams in the entire country. Colby, what are you kind of expecting from that series?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Wake Forest hits away from home this weekend against a good Georgia Tech team. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
Can they keep up with the bats of Georgia Tech? That's the question. I wonder if Georgia Tech will have pitch come.
Some are wondering.
That's a good one. Reed, what are you expecting from that series, sir?
It'll be certainly interesting to see, Georgia Tech's pitching, can get back to how they've been, after all their starters.
McKee needs to bounce back.
Yeah, after all their starters, I think none of them went longer than 4 innings last weekend against Carolina. So I'm looking to see if they can bounce back in a big way. Certainly last night Georgia Tech made a huge statement win, dominating Georgia at the Braves ballpark. And if Wake hits the ball like they did last weekend, I mean, we could be in for some absolute fireworks this weekend in Atlanta.
We could. High Point. The last series we're going to discuss is High Point hosting VMI. High Point sitting at 26-14 overall. VMI sitting at 26-14. VMI not having a bad season, sitting at 3-9 in the SoCon. But Braxton, I expect High Point to take care of business here. High Point playing some great baseball as of late. And it's still them and Winthrop in contention for the Big South right now.
Yep, another kind of series, away from the Big South play for them. I think this team's really good at home, High Point. So I think they'll take care of business here. VMI is a team that started the season really well, kind of been struggling here the last month or so. So I like High Point at home. Interesting that this first game's late, 7:30 start, latest game of tomorrow night, or of Friday night. But I like the Panthers at home here to get it done out of conference play against VMI.
I would agree. I do like that one for sure. Thank you, Braxton, for pulling up the slate. Now, my favorite segment of the show, bold predictions. I'm going to put one of you on the spot. Don't know which one I'm going to go first. Let's go the birthday boy first. Braxton, your bold prediction as we wrap up the show.
Yeah, I think Elon takes the series this weekend at home against UNCW.
Wow.
I hinted at it earlier. I think, just with UNCW getting this midweek win against Coastal, they're going to be riding high coming into Burlington. I think they're going to kind of expect to just, beat Elon, and Elon's a team that's been really hot. They just beat Campbell. They get the win against Winthrop last night. I think they stay hot. Duroff's been hitting the ball well all year. They've had some other hitters out. Jackson Alford has been great. He leads the Carolinas in steals. And not only that, they've had some great pitching most of the year too. That's where their strong suit is. They've pitched it really well. I think that'll counter kind of UNCW's strong pitching. I mean, Cooper Allen's going to be tough to beat. I'm fine with that. Maybe they drop that game, but I think they can beat them these other two games. And I'm going to take Elon to take 2 out of 3 at home against Wilmington.
Colby?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I fully believe the Gamecocks are gonna win the series at home against Kentucky. I got them taking 2 out of 3 and taking the series.
Okay. I like that one. Reed Tobin, your bold prediction, sir.
Here we go.
Gallimore took mine. So we're gonna make a pivot.
You're on the Cox?
I have them winning this weekend.
Wow.
They've been really close. We've mentioned it in some of these other SEC series.
Hold on.
I think this.
I'm looking at it. You have Kentucky 2 out of 3.
I'm gonna flip it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna go with. Let's go with Charleston. They upset Campbell this weekend.
Wow.
The way they've been playing.
Flip that one too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Those are my early picks, not my final picks.
Okay.
With the way they're playing, Campbell hasn't looked like their best here over the past few games, past week or so. And then, Charleston, I mentioned they've won 9 out of their last 10. That offense is really starting to turn a corner too. They've been pitching the ball better. And being at home this weekend, I think that's going to give Campbell. They're going to give Campbell a fit this weekend.
I like that one for sure, sir. Mine, Gardner Webb takes the series from Winthrop. Gardner Webb wins these games in an absolute shootout. They score 13-plus in 2 games. One game, they score 2 runs, but in the ones they do win, they score 2 touchdowns minimum. And they take the series versus Winthrop.
I can't wait for like one of these to hit, or like especially that one, because then like Gardner Webb's gonna clip it or something. Like they're gonna post it. And did y'all see Carolina post the clips of like a lot of the pods like talking up Georgia Tech and how good they were, and then like I love that when like the schools like get involved with like some of the media members, and one of these bold predictions will get clipped either by us or someone else one day, and I look forward to it.
One of mine hit a week ago, not a big one, but
maybe we should clip Colby's calls the other night.
We should
make a little video out of that. Maybe a little side project.
Yeah.
With like after every single one make like a cha-ching noise.
Yeah, and then like we clip Colby saying Wilmington gets the win, and we do the cha-ching, and then we show the walk off.
Yeah,
that'd be a good idea.
Anyway,
so Colby, who's winning Wake Forest, Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech. I have another bold prediction, but it's non-Carolina like curveball favored. Right. It's I think Wofford's win streak comes to a brutal close this weekend, and they'll get swept by Mercer.
Wow, swept by Mercer.
Interesting.
That's bold, sir. That
is very bold.
That's very, very bold. Well, folks, I think that'll do it.
State wins, Colby?
No.
Wow.
Tech.
Wow.
I have Tech as well.
Reed, any comments to wrap up the night?
No, good show with y'all fellas. Baseball starts tomorrow here in the Carolinas, Carolina Duke. I think it's going to be another good weekend. I've mentioned it too. It's crunch time for a lot of these teams. We've got a lot of teams sitting here kind of right there on the bubble, and then other teams needing to do some work in their conference standings. So, got to start playing your best brand of baseball as we flip the calendar to May.
I would agree. Be sure to be on the lookout for our content at Carolina Curve BB on Instagram and Twitter. Be sure to look us up on TikTok at Carolina Curve BB as well. Braxton does a great job there. Be sure to look there. Subscribe on YouTube, like on Spotify, follow on Spotify, and enjoy the baseball this weekend. Enjoy North Carolina Duke on Thursday night. And I hope your NFL franchise drafts the player that takes them to the next level, because I sure hope my team does. I will be watching that tomorrow night, as well as watching North Carolina Duke. Maybe flip on the Canes playoff game for a quick second to get maybe a score check if it's late close. We'll see.
Wow.
But my primary focus will be the NFL draft. Looking forward to it. One of my favorite times of the year. And boys, we will see you on Monday. Thank you all for listening. See you later.